Okay, guys, I'm not going to do the entire thing here because I've kind of run out of time. So I'm going to go through and do a couple different ones. Remember, if I go too fast, just pause it, slow it down, or rewind it, and then look at the problem. Okay, here we're just simplifying. So I need to distribute the negative here. 3 minus 4x plus 3y plus 6x minus 2y. You're just combining like terms. Okay, so minus 4x plus 6x becomes minus 2x. Then a 3y minus a 2y is a positive y. Number 2, same thing. Distribute the negative 2, so that would be negative 2x squared minus 10x plus 4. Then distribute the negative 3, so minus 3x minus 12. Negative 2x squared, I can combine the two x's, and then the numbers, so minus 8. Okay, number 4. I'm just evaluating, so I'm going to plug in the negative 4 for x, the negative 7 for y, the negative 7 for y, and then honestly on this one, guys, go ahead and just plug it into your calculator. Okay, so just be careful. I would put parentheses around everything. So 5 times negative 4 times negative 7 times negative 7 minus 6 squared. 2, 3, 6, 6, 0. Okay, 5 and 7 are not on the test because I think these are from last year and I forgot to take them off. Okay, interval notation and inequality. So this that they give you is inequality notation. Okay, interval notation uses your brackets and parentheses. That goes with, brackets go with equal sign and closed circles. Parentheses go with no equal sign and open circles. Okay, so interval notation here is going to be negative 3 to 7. Both of them have equal signs, so both get brackets. Now these two, if you get confused, put them on a number line. So closed circle at 8 going to the the left. This is going to negative infinity and this is going to positive infinity. So I go parentheses, negative infinity, comma 8, bracket. Number 10 is going the opposite way, so open circle to the right. So that would be parentheses, negative 6, comma, infinity, parentheses. Remember, infinities always get parentheses. Okay, and then the number line, same type of thing. This we want an inequality notation. So this is going to be negative 5, comma, negative 1. Oh, sorry. Try that again. Negative 5 is less than x, which is less than or equal to negative 1. This one would be negative 5 is less than x, which is less than negative 3. And this one, it's hard to see, but the arrow's going this way. So that's negative infinity. Oh, gosh. Sorry, it's been a long afternoon. Okay, x is less than negative 2. There we go. Now, if you wanted to put negative infinity here, you can do that. Okay, but you can also just put that. Okay. Solving the equation. So we want to get the variable on one side. So 14, I'm going to combine these two. 15j minus 15 equals negative 8 plus 20j. I'm going to put the j's on the left. Minus 20j. So that's negative 5j minus 15 equals negative 8. Add 15. Negative 5j equals, what is that, 7? 7. Divide by negative 5. So j equals negative 7/5. Okay, now remember, it's multiple choice on this test tomorrow, so you're going to have 4 answer choices. So be smart about that. Plug in your answer into the j's up here and make sure that they work. Okay, that should help. Let's do another one, number 18. Distribute. So 5x plus 15, distribute. Plus 2 minus 2x equals 14. Combine like terms. So 5x minus 2x is 3x. 15 plus 2 is 17 equals 14. Minus 17, 3x equals negative 3. Divide by 3, x equals negative 1. Okay, these 3 right here, absolute value ones, remember you should have 2 solutions. So first thing we need to do is isolate the absolute value. Make sure you're moving this over first. So add 5. Negative 5, absolute value, 3x plus 8 equals negative 15. Divide by negative 5. I saw some of my students here, you're trying to do something different with this negative 5. It's being multiplied. Divide by it and divide on this side. So 3x plus 8 equals positive 3. Now I split it up. 3x plus 8 equals 3. 3x plus 8 equals negative 3, and I solve for x. So subtract 8. 3x equals negative 5. Divide by 3. Sorry, running out of room. I'm going to go over here. X equals negative 5/3. Same thing here. Subtract 8. 3x equals negative 11. Divide by 3. X equals negative 11/3. Okay, solving inequality. Same thing as solving an equation. The biggest thing here is, guys, when you're trying to get that x by itself, 8, right here, if I divide or multiply by a negative, the inequality switches directions. Okay, so this becomes x is less than 2. And then be careful when you put it on your number line. Open circle pointing to the left. Okay, remember, this x is an arrow if the x is on the left. Then you have your absolute value inequalities. Same type of thing here, only you have to flip the sign. So let's do number 27. Again, isolate the absolute value first. Subtract 4. Absolute value of negative 5x minus 4 greater than or equal to 12. The absolute value is by itself, so I can split it up. Negative 5x minus 4 greater than or equal to 12. Now I switch it. Negative 5x minus 4 less than or equal to negative 12. So notice, this is the same as the original, but then here I flip the inequality sign and I change the sign over here. Okay, let's solve for x. Add 4. Negative 5x is greater than or equal to 16. Divide by negative 5. Oh, be careful. I divided by negative 5. Flip the sign. So negative 16 over 5. Add 4. Negative 5x is less than or equal to negative 8. Divide by negative 5. I divided by a negative. Flip the sign. Positive 8/5. Okay, your parent functions, we've got two parent functions that are the main ones you need to know. Absolute value, so f of x equals absolute value of x. The domain here, I know it's hard to tell on this one. We've talked about this over and over and over again. Absolute value, the domain is all real numbers. It doesn't matter what you do to the equation. I could add 3 to it. I could multiply it by 2. I could subtract 3, and I could add 5. It doesn't matter. The domain is always going to be all real numbers. Okay, the range will change. So this one, the lowest y value is 0. So bracket 0 to infinity because it's going up. The range changes based on if it moves up or down. Okay, so for example, if I was doing 1 and let's say it moved down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now my lowest y value is not 0, it's negative 5. So the range here would be negative 5 comma infinity. Okay, the other main parent function is our quadratic. So f of x equals x squared. The domain's the same here. It's all real numbers, and it stays all real numbers no matter what. It doesn't matter what changes happen to this, it's always going to be all real numbers. The range is the same thing here. 0 to infinity. Okay, same thing. It changes based on if it moves up or down. On these down here when it says graph, first of all, let's review how to graph that in your calculator. If you forget how that graph looks. Okay, so you go to y equals right here. So you press y equals, and I'm going to put that in. X, which is right here under my finger next to alpha. X squared minus 3. Graph. Okay, so x squared, hopefully you know that's a parabola. Now if you want the parent function, take off the numbers. I just want x squared. I took off the minus 3. Okay, there's the parent function. And so my new one went down 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. And there's my graph. Okay, so domain. Remember, domain's all real numbers for a quadratic, an x squared. The range changes. So the lowest y value is negative 3. So I go negative 3 to infinity. 32. This moves left 1. Now, if you forget that, put it in your graph. So let's go back here and clear out the first one. Parentheses, x plus 1 squared, graph. There it is. It's hard to tell on this one, but look, here's the parent function, is this one to the right at 0, 0, then it moves left 1. Okay, so I'm going to go left 1 and graph. Okay, domain doesn't change, all real numbers, but the range, how about the range? Well, the lowest y value is still 0. Okay, that didn't change. So 0 to infinity. 33, let's graph it. Okay, so this one's square root. Square root, x minus 4 minus 3. Again, if you want the parent function, put it in there, take out the numbers. So see, I took out the minus 4 and the minus 3. Graph. There's our new one. There's our parent function. Okay, so think about this. You should know what these do. This moves right 4. This moves down 3. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And it's just like a little curve. Okay, now this one's special. Look at the domain. Domain is left to right. Okay, so if I start with the domain, there's no arrow here. I start with that value at positive 4 and it goes to infinity. Okay, the range, kind of similar situation. Start here, it's starting at negative 3 and going to infinity. Okay, so that one's special because it doesn't have all real numbers here. And 34, we should know how to do this one. Let's do it without our calculator. This goes down 3. This 2 is a vertical stretch by 2. So 0, 0, go down 1, 2, 3. Then because of the 2, I go up 2 over 1 in both directions. Okay, so then let's look at domain and range. It's an absolute value function. Domain's all real numbers. Range, look at the lowest y value, negative 3, and it goes up to infinity. Okay, 35. So this is the stuff that was on our last test. Here's the slope. Make sure on this one, because on the last test, remember, the one a lot of you guys missed was something like this, I think. You have to make sure it's in y equals first before you find the slope. Okay, so you would divide by 5. This one, y is already by itself, so the slope is 5. Okay, so here, if I want perpendicular, I need to flip it and change the sign. Opposite reciprocal. Okay, so the slope is negative 1/5. Here's where we want to use point slope. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, so y minus, this is a negative 4, so it becomes positive, equals negative 1/5 times x minus 4. Distribute the negative 1/5. I'm going to have to go over here. Y plus 4 equals negative 1/5 x plus 4/5. Okay, subtract the 4. Y equals negative 1/5 x. Put this in my calculator. 4/5 minus 4, negative 16/5. Okay, so there's our answer. Number 36, the slope is negative 1. Parallel, same slope. So I'm going to use the slope of negative 1. Same formula though. Y minus 4 equals negative 1 times x minus a negative 1. So it becomes positive. Y minus 4 equals negative x minus 1. Add the 4 over. Y equals negative x plus 3. Number 37, you have to find the slope first. So remember, you have all these formulas. So I'm not going to write them all down. Negative 1 minus 2 over 8 minus 4 is negative 3 over 4. So there's our slope. Now I'm going to go back to point slope. Y minus, I'm going to use this point. 2 equals m times x minus 4. Distribute. Y minus 2 equals negative 3/4 x plus 3. You can put this times this in your calculator. Add 2. Y equals negative 3/4 x plus 5. Okay, finding the x and y-intercepts. Most of you guys did great on the test on this one. So if I want to find the x-intercept, I'm going to plug 0 into the y. So that's gone. 6x equals negative 2. X equals negative 1/3. Remember, we write that as negative 1/3, comma 0. Graph that. That's kind of hard to graph, but there you go. Y-intercept, plug in 0 to the x, solve for y. That's gone. Negative 2y equals negative 2. Y equals 1, so we write that as 0, 1, and draw your line. Okay, last two, graph the following. Remember, if you see inequalities, they need to be shaded, okay, one side or the other. So this one, y is already by itself, so start at positive 1. Up 1 over 2 in both directions. Down 1 over 2. Okay, there's no equal sign, so it's dashed. And then we want to shade. So I pick 0, 0, and I say 0 less than 1/2 times 0 plus 1. That's gone. 0 less than 1. That is true. So here's 0, 0. That means everything on this side of the line is a solution. Okay? On this one, I need to get y by itself. So let's come down here. Okay, subtract 3x over. That's gone. Negative 4y is greater than negative 3x plus 12. Divide by negative 4. Be careful here. I just divided by a negative with inequalities. So y is less than 3/4 x minus 3. Okay, this is what I'm going to graph. So I start at negative 3, and I go up 3 over 4. Up 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, it's again, there's no equal sign, so it's dashed. Okay, and let's plug in 0, 0. So I put 0 is less than 3/4 times 0 minus 3. That's gone. Is 0 less than negative 3? No. So here's 0. That means I have to go to the other side of the line, and everything on here is a solution. Okay, I'm going to go put up the full answer key right now on my teacher website. So if you want that, it will be there for you.